The first year I was here, Florine was the first one to tell me about C12. It was told to me by other of the people here how important it was. I knew nothing about it, but I learned. And I said, the second year I go back, I want to go. So I tried to find out how to get there as a tourist. And it's very hard if you're an American and you do not speak Romanian to penetrate the boundary layer between these two countries. I'm here, I can talk to you, you people will pretty much do anything for me I need or help me. It's wonderful. If I'm in America and I write to you, it doesn't come out so clear. I do have people here though. And one of the people I met who's a very dear friend, Nicole Vasilkovsky, she volunteered to take me my second year. So she provided my adventure to C12. We went with. It took me 20 minutes to learn how to pronounce it, C12. 20 minutes going on the taxi. It was that hard for me to pronounce. Florine couldn't even pronounce it for a while. You know, it was like we were talking. It gets hard to say sometimes. That was the first barrier, was to pronounce it. But we went there, had some synchronistic experiences. I met a woman named Lanuț Toma, who didn't understand English, but I met her in the circle there, and we're still friends to this day, although she does not speak English. And she has helped provide the seeds for the tour we're taking there this year. All of the travel agents that Vanda talked to did not work. There was a barrier. For whatever reason, and it was through the people I had met on my sacred journey, Lanuț and a woman named Uliana, that's how you say it, Uliana. That we found her, and she is going to, basically all we needed was a bus. It's easy for you to go to C12, but as I was taught, getting there is half the journey. And we've struggled very hard to bring people on this journey, which we're going beginning on Friday. Now, the very special aspect of this journey, this was journey 1 to C12. My second year in Romania, my second year at Atlantykron. The third year, we did this film project here, which was exhausting. I was spending all my time trying to cast people in the movie with Roberto. It was what an exhausting thing trying to do a movie. And it still hasn't been finished. Roberto's going to try and finish it one of these days. And then I went to Bulgaria and spent 10 days in Bulgaria investigating sacred sites. The fourth year, I really didn't have the funds to come. I had the funds, you can always put things on a credit card if you have credit. But I said, no, it's not viable. I hear from Nicole and I say, okay, I can't go this year. She gives me a sad face. I say, but why don't you say one of your Christian prayers? She's a very holy woman. I said, say one of your Christian prayers and maybe I can go. So she actually fasts. She says her prayers. And the next morning I get a call from Marta Thomas. She says, I want to pay your way to Romania. I want to do a tour to Romania. I want you to take me. And so I went. And that's how I got there. She did not have time to get people. It didn't work out, but she paid for me and Nicole. I said, so we need a translator, we need a person. So we didn't go to C12, but we went to the Sphinx, met my Bulgarian friends at the Sphinx, who dowsed and introduced me to Yalomita Cave. So I got to see the cave, which a man here, after we visited Atlantykron on the way back, and Marta came, and with Nicole, and they explained to me that this cave, if you go to the end, and then you can't go any further, well, you can go further if this man here, Bogdan, not the Bogdan the astronomer, another one, said you take boards and lights, and you can go another 80 yards. Beyond that, you need spelunking equipment. But this is a gateway to the inner earth. And I was told by one of the ladies here that this is the biggest state secret of Romania. She told me, this is not me, that there's all of these UFOs that go in and out of this whole Carpathian southern mountains. and these are all by spirits down there that are both good spirits and dark spirits. Now, I got a taste of the cave, which I went back to last year. My 5th year was Jeanette Crowley, who had been in Buchej, and she had felt these underground chambers, but she knew nothing of the books. A Danish woman told her about the books. She connected with me and wanted to take me with her as an esoteric guide on the trip. And we went first and climbed to Omu, which I had not been to Omu. We spent a night at Mount Omu. And of course, I have a lot of dreams, which I've written about in my last book I won't go into. A lot of synchronicity, a lot of connections, able to meet some very important people in Romanian politics, which were predicted in the dream I had. Vanda was on this trip because she knows Jeanette. They're very close. So Vanda, when we got to Kostesti, and she says, you should do seminars here. I said, what? And basically, I didn't know she did travel, sacred journeys. So the long and short of it is, she's bringing me back this time. And this is how I get. Spirit brings me back to Romania. I would have gone back to this trip because I'm going to tell you what we discovered and where we're going. In this incredible chamber that Radu talks about is, and there's corroboration to it, there's no proof. He writes me personal letters and says, I apologize, I can't give you more proof. I can't deliver it. There is too much security. I have not heard from him in a year and a half. His publisher has not either. He's very distressed about it. But it's okay. Everything is okay. So, there's 4 books in the series. The last one, the 4th book, is The Secret Parchment. There are tunnels in this chamber beneath the Sphinx. 3 chambers. One goes to Tibet, one goes to Egypt, and one goes into the inner earth, which is non-specified. This 4th book discusses what is considered a bigger secret than the chamber in Buchej. It is a man named Professor Constantine, who, according to the book, in 1990, after the fall of communism, was doing archaeological digs near Sarmasejatuza, maybe miles away, many kilometers away, but in the general vicinity. And one of the workers accidentally discovered, when they were putting the tools away, a little 4x4 area, and then there was a hole there, and they found a deeper area, and it got deeper and deeper, and there was these ancient ruins that were like a long slope that went down, and they kept following it with whatever lighting equipment they had. They took some photographs, color photographs, and as they got deeper and deeper, they discovered gold. Now, many of you have heard the legends of Mount Kogian, or how do you say it? Kogian? Kogian? Kogayon. Kogayon? Kogayonon. Okay, got it.
Say it again.
Kogayonon. You will teach me to say it many more times because you're going with us. This is a Atlantykron miracle. She's going to be joining us on part of the journey. Her first time to Sarmasejatuza, her first time to the Sphinx, which I encourage all of you to go to. I'm beginning to call it, I told Gio, take your friend Brad to Peter Moon's Romania. Not to the Bronze Castle. Too much negative energy there. Too much people attracted to negative energy. There's many more incredible things. I think this is a draw people away from the sacred, distract them from the better aspects of Romania. I also want to say that they say the best Romanians are taken to other countries. I do not believe this. I believe the best Romanians are here. I really believe this. I'm not flattering you. Because those are brilliant, as many Romanians are brilliant. They're brilliant people. But they're being attracted by the commercial, by the money. And I understand this. This is understandable. But there's more. There's more the Romanian people have not been spoiled, not yet, and I hope they never are, by the America's very empty in many respects of the soul. It's got a lot of. So anyway, this chamber, they discovered, they went down to find this gold, and it went on for kilometers and kilometers. And it's explained in the book that this does not occur in geology. To process an ounce of gold, you might need a ton. You might need a ton of gold. So, to get 1 ounce of gold, not a ton of gold, a ton of earth. So, this gold led to a bed with hieroglyphics on it, which they translated the hieroglyphics. They broke them down phonetically, it said with about 4 universities, and they came with a common denominator. And this common denominator basically translated the hieroglyphics to K-R-I-O, K-R-I-O, Creo, or K-R was mean chronos, which means time, according to the way they interpreted it. I recognize this as the goddess Kar. It's like Carthage, Karnak. There's an ancient goddess called Kar. It's where we get the word cardiac in Greek, which is the heart. So I added my own interpretations to my section. Kar-eo, is God. When you use consonants, this is how languages basically in phonetics are all consonants. The vowels are interchangeable. When you use the vowels is the divinity. Eo or I-A-O. Yao. It even translates into Yahweh, Yahweh. The American Indians invoke this, but it's the divinity. I could go into it deeper. I'm not going to go into it deeper now, but they were the divinity of time. And then there was a phrase that said, where all the worlds unite. This is what the hieroglyphics is, where all the worlds unite. And then they went deeper, where they found these thrones. These 7 golden thrones, which were very high, made of pure gold. And there was a egg-shaped or ellipsis, which was like a vortex where it looked into another world with another planet that I think was, if I recall right, blue, orange, and white. And the man who was with Professor Constantine fell in, disappeared. And that's all we hear. Professor Constantine goes back, reports to security, and it's all hushed up. They cover it up. The cement truck driver who's supposed to cover it goes crazy. The 3 security people driving back have a crash, they die. And Professor Constantine is still alive. Cesar Brad comes and interviews them. He gets the file, which has pictures of it. And then Professor Constantine, he interviews Professor Constantine, takes notes, and Professor Constantine is skirted away. This situation becomes a great deal of diplomatic tension on the secret levels between the Americans and the Romanians of Department Zero, because Department Zero knows very little about it. They can't find the access point again. With whatever ground penetrating radar or whatever, it doesn't work. The spirits are conflicting it. The Americans they found out about it, so there's a lot of tension, but it gets resolved through cooperation with they found out about it through an antenna-like device in Antarctica that was pointing to this area and Mount McKinley and to a moon on Jupiter. I think it's Europa.
Yeah.
I'm not going to...
I want to propose you that to try to cross and move to Vanda.
I'm getting
Okay.
ready. I'm just wrapping up. I'm going to get to Vanda. I'm on time. So last year when we went, and Vanda was with me, we met a man who was taking us on this journey, and he points to me on the way to Fete Alba. He says, "This is the Valley of the Golden Thrones." And I said, "You mean like in the book?" He says, "Yes." I said, "There was this man named Professor Constantine." He says, "I knew him." Wow, big synchronicity. So I said, I have to go back. I have to go back to this area. And this is our journey. And this is where Vanda comes in. This is our journey where we're going now. I said, I have to go back here and explore this valley. Now, I was told we can only enter with the permission of the spirits. This is why the political dreams I was having, no, we do not want the politics, we want the spirit. These are the ancient, they're called Solomonari, you might have heard them. In ancient times they were called the Hultan. And they are the spirits, probably the most powerful archetypal spirits in the world. And they reside right here, and they call the shots, not the politics, not any other way around. And further, that all of these books that Radu wrote, they reflect this ancient mythology, which I've learned that many of you are not that familiar with. It's even pre-Zalmoxes, because Zalmoxes fits into the transcending the human condition. And this is where the initiations of the Hultan. I can go deeper into all of this, but this is the, I guess what you call the adventure that I'm in the midst of. We're about to take the adventure, and Vanda and I would have gone on our own. We happen to have people we're taking with us. I would have gone on my own because I have enough friends. And so this is the adventure we're going on. You're seeing me. This is my last day here just before we go on the adventure. So if you have any information to impart to me, I'm more than open to hear it and to share. But this is where Vanda has been doing sacred. And she picked up on it intuitively. Because I didn't know Vanda. I mean, I kind of met her on the group. She was very popular with everybody. Vanda, I confused her with Wanda. Who's Wanda? No, it's Vanda. So anyway, she says, you must come back. And we became close friends. And now, so this is how Vanda comes into my life. And she comes into your life because she wants to come to Atlantykron, not just do this. She wants to experience it all. So here is Vanda Osmond.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you. I'd like to acknowledge Peter's story, because I would not be here if Spirit had not told me when I was in the sacred sites, you are unfinished. This place, Romania, these sacred sites are emerging for humanity. I've dedicated my life to global awakening and humanity, and I was curious to find out more. When I came home, I Googled everything I could and translated from Google Translator in Romanian everything I found out, all of the weird stories and all of the things I experienced with John Ed, to find out that 80% of it was true. And so in my language and in my lectures, I would say that there have always been places on the planet that were kept secret until the time was right. I believe, as working with the elders in Guatemala and the Hopi Indians, that this time that we're here and privileged to be is the time. And I want to say with my open heart, I believe Romania has a gift for humanity. And it has been buried, but it's coming to the surface so that we can learn more of who we really are and why we're really here. So that leads into something. I believe pictures are worth 1,000 words, so I have pictures. I only have one. So I'm going to ask you to please just look visually. It's about the visual right now context. And then I'm going to kind of explain to you what I'm doing. And I did find some stuff on ley lines with Romania, which I want you to look at, because where we're at covers about 2 major ley lines that link to vortices that are important. So just being on this land is a privilege and an honor. So I'm going to pass these out. So the first one I have, and I'm going to read it to you because it's the preface of all of my lectures, that the earth is a living crystal with lattice-like lines, grid points, sacred sites. It's our home, our precious home. Earth is a dynamic, self-regulating being with intelligence and vast ecosystems, all balanced to maintain harmony in life. The earth has ley lines encircling the planet with key node points, coming together in a crystal pattern. And this was studied by the Russians, the Americans, and most European to talk about this earth is a crystal. It basically is 12 pentagons on a side and 20 triangles. So you have a dodecahedron, icosahedron forming a ball. Most of the sacred sites are located at key node points. Dr. David Zink was the one who correlated sacred sites and grid points. Beth Hagins, who's a dear friend who's doing incredible work, is now doing work because she found out that these key node points have a harmonic that relate to stars and planets in our universe. So her current work is trying to not only tie in the earth as a living crystal, but our relationship to the stars. So it's amazing work. You can Google her. It's Beth Hagins. Okay, so the first one I want you to see is just the map, and please just take a look and then pass it on. The second one is a grid line based on grid lines that shows you in yellow where we physically are, because we're talking about an abstract thought. And I want to put you into your location now. So please just come down from Russia and Kiev, come down to in Romania, and you'll see exactly where we are right now. This one is a diagram that shows you the artist's rendition of how the earth is alive. And with the energies of the sun and the universe and within the earth is amazing amount of energy that's accumulated. It is self-regulating. Earth and us, big point, is meant to be in harmony. When you have pollution or when you have negativity, if the wind comes, or when we're thinking and using prayer and meditation and yoga and Tai Chi, we can clean these avenues again so that Earth could be far more harmonious. What is the key point to all of this? Why is this not just an intellectual discussion? It's because our bodies have been wired by the divine to have antennas. The heart is an amazing one, and it links you to this subtle energy. So when you walk, or if you hit your hands out and close your eyes and ask, what is here? Who is here? Teach me. You will have, by serendipitous and synchronicity, information come to you that's pertinent to that. Because we are not only just one person, we are a family of humanity, and we are linked. Ourselves by our DNA are not only linked to ourselves and our family, but to friends and to the world and off-world. So this is the time that the Hopis and the Guatemalan people said, forget everything that you thought. We are in new time. And what does that mean? The potential to create, the potential to know is here. All you have to do is ask. So this one is by Beth Hagins. This is her conceptual thing of the Earth grid. And this is Dr. David Zink, who's put the names to the grid sites like Giza, the pyramids, Zimbabwe, Stonehenge, all of them, okay? Now, it was a fascination and a synchronicity to me that Atlantykron had to do something with Atlantis. So I brought this just for fun. I, in 1988, had a dream to meet Dr. David Zink, who was doing the definitive work in the Bahamas, in Bimini. And I wrote to his publisher, and he wrote back, and of course he didn't have any money, and he wanted to do a conference in Bimini, and so I created it. And from there we did Quest for Atlantis. After the conference, a lot of us, and these are lay people, these were SEALs, tech divers, whatever, created a nonprofit. And for the last 25 years we've been doing extensive high-tech work in the Bahamas. And as my website says, we found something in deep water which goes back to 14,000 feet. We're holding back publication until my hope is that we have an institute that can do it right, because there's over 100 years of work. So I'm here to tell you it's either Proto-Mayan, or could be Atlantean. There's something very much in the waters around Bimini. So I would like to open this up also to questions if you have. I mean, I can certainly tell you about the Earth and the grid lines and all that wonderful place. I can talk about location. But I think what's more important is if you have any questions, because this time right now is to ask questions. And remember something, I also want to share something that's very, very important. In the Mayan world, they have a new year, and their new year is from July to July, and it has a seed note. And so I want to tell you what the seed note is. It's very funny. It's called Yellow Galactic Seed. And what it basically means is, if you have a dream, if you have an idea, if you have something that you want to accomplish in mind, body, and spirit, which means from economics to your soul vision to something you just want to experience, this is the year to plant those seeds, because the energy of the galactic is supporting the growth. But it asks you one special thing. Please forget any past limitations that you may have felt held you behind or limited you from realizing your potential. All of those obstacles are being removed, and the only thing that's left is the residue within you. So if you can wake up tomorrow morning saying, oh my goodness, it's a new day, it's a new dawn, and the universe supports me, believe me, you can create whatever you want. I'm going to pass this, you can look at it, it'll be on here. And really, I've got business cards. If there's any questions that you have in relationship to my experience at sacred sites, which I have a lot of them, or maps or grids or anything like that, I'd be more than happy to email you. It's all about the dissemination of energy so that we can go to the next level. So.
Let's have some questions. Avem întrebări?
A question to both of you. Have you ever heard about Sinaya's plates? Sinaya's plates.
I believe I know what you're talking about, the old language.
Yes, that's right.
I believe I know what you're talking about, the oldest writings. Yes,
Yes, that's right.
I don't know their name, but yes.
Okay, there is a book in Romanian about them, but they were golden, very old, describing unbelievable history of these places. Unfortunately, most of them, they are abroad in different banks as gold, treasures, and so on. Another question, have you heard about Dr. Savescu from the US?
Yes, Napoleon?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's right.
in fact,
Have you any contact with him?
well, I will say something about that.
Oh, okay.
When I was in Sarmasejatuza, I was very touched because when I do the Montauk research, I go to Montauk and people look at me like they're Dracula and I'm a crucifix. You see? In Transylvania, it's the opposite. The family of the hotel knew who I was. They said, people come here because of your books. And the mother was reading one of my books. I was very touched. I bonded very strongly with the daughter, who Christina, because she speaks English. The parents don't speak English. And they're very beautiful people. So she told me that there's this castle. When you go to Sarmasejatuza, you go by this castle. She says, that is, how do you say his name? Dr.
Savescu.
Savescu, yeah, he is a medical doctor in New York City. And in fact, I had met Nikolai of Dasha magazine, and he wanted to interview me. He says, I understand you are an expert on Sarmasejatuza. And I laughed. I said, I've been there once. Now I've been there twice. I'm laughing. But I have some insight. I have an expertise here. And he told me about him too. And he says, there's a magazine, we want to put it into English. Can you help us? I said, yeah, I'll try. I don't know how, but I'll try. And I could. But my communications hit the Romanian dead end. They go sink like a line drive in baseball. They sink. And so then she told me, Christina, she says that he has all of these ruins from Sarmasejatuza in this castle that he owns. And he says, it's controversial. Now, is he preserving them? Maybe he is preserving them, because they might get destroyed otherwise. Some people might think he's hoarding them. I don't know. I wrote the revival, the Dacian Revival Society on Facebook. I wrote him a very nice letter, and I told him who I was. I did not hide who I was, and I got no response. And that is the Romanian non-response in New York City, microcosm. That sometimes can experience. I'd very much like to talk to him. I'd very much like to interact with him. And maybe through the Romanian ambassador, who Gabby and Heather just had lunch with in New York City, the day before I had dinner with them, or I had dinner with them. So maybe the ambassador can connect us. That's an idea that you contribute. Thank you.
Thank you.
Whoop.
Also, have you ever met Dr. Dan Dimancescu from Boston? Dan Dimancescu. It's an American citizen. His parents left Romania many years ago. He's our age, maybe elder.
What was the name again?
Dan Dimancescu.
From? Where does he live?
Boston.
No.
Boston, okay. He came back to Romania with his son. He made some documentary films about Romania, about Dacians, about the history of Romania, generally speaking. And he's very found also on Sarmasejatuza and all these places.
I want to write this down later. You give it to me later.
Yeah, okay. We communicate and I give you the contact. Okay.
I have
Welcome.
a question for anybody out there that might know this. One of the articles that I found that was in Romanian, I translated, talked about in 1998 they used subsurface work at Sarmassachusetts, USA. They used high tech, and they found supposedly 3 buried pyramids and evidence of more ancient civilization. The article basically said that they don't talk about it, they don't have the funding, and nothing has been done. My question to you as Romanians is that, like, in the United States, a lot of the people that I work with that are researchers that you probably read their books are on Facebook and do have blogs, and they push that paradigm. They ask questions. So I would encourage you down the line, if you ever run into anybody that would be in a position to know whatever happened to that data and when are they going to let the world know. After Romania, I go to Bosnia because I decided to volunteer for a week. But before 6 months ago, I didn't think there was anything there until I found one of Peter's clients who is the translator in Spanish, and she told me the new discoveries. I'm there. So I encourage you because I think you have a lot here to bring to the world in terms of archaeology.
Altă întrebare? Am aici. Adi Tărăcilă, îl știți de multă vreme, vine la Atlantykron de mulți ani, de 20 de ani, cred. El este un aventurier. Nu mă refer la domnișoare, ci mă refer la câte locuri din lume a vizitat, locuri speciale. Poate poți să ne împărtășești ceva din experiența ta, apropo de tema de astăzi a conferinței.
Bună ziua. Hello. They know me. During the more than 50 years, I travel around the world. I've been in many places, so I need many hours to talk about this. I have just a question for a moment. Did you heard about the Piri Reis map? Who was discovered in 1929 in Istanbul. I saw that copy of the map in the British Museum. My question is, that map was official drawing in the 15th century, but in the map, it is actually it's a part of the map. It is some part of the South American with the ship, with everything, all the island, everything, including the Ushuaia and Antarctica. And Antarctica, it was drawing without ice. So in 1951, a military satellite, the American technology, sorry for my English, it was for the first time on the image, it was relieved without ice. So without ice, Antarctica is like a 12 or 11,500 years ago. So who drawing that map? Because it's not about the construction and the technology, it's about the space. And this is the real clue. It's not a story, it's not a science fiction. So which is your answer?
I don't know what you're asking. To repeat from that guy last night, I don't understand your question.
So
I'd like to address that. Okay, we were taught in school a history that I believe is wrong. Certain facts and information are coming forward that humanity has had incredible intelligence for a long time. What I was so fascinated with is there was these stones that was found in Romania that are pre-Sanskrit, that indicate that there's a history here far older than the history books tell you about. Same place in my work with Atlantis and Bimini, and using that as a metaphor, supposedly these people had high technology, languages, and they colonized the entire world. If you look at the Vedic world, if you look at India world, and you look at the maps that they have tremendous knowledge that transcends 12,000 years, which is nothing nothing. I just was in Turkey and was with Dr. Schmidt at Göbekli, which is a 12,000, and Kori was a 14,000-year-old site. Very high tech, very 1,500 tons of a circle that was tapered so that when you hit it, it vibrated. They understood sonics. So I want you to know that the Earth with ice ages have repeated itself. So there were people that could record there. And there are ancient maps and libraries. This stuff is coming to the surface.
So the art of the caveman, that was the caveman. The picture from the 20,000 years ago, so...
I go hysterical at museums when I go. I was just in Greece, and they had these like men pulling the hair of the women into the cave, and it said 6,000 years ago, and I go, oh God, they're so stupid. I mean, what they try to tell you is not true, okay? So I want you to be open for truth, okay? And relearn what is coming forth about our history on this planet and our connection to the stars.
And Tiahuanaco. Can you explain something about the Bolivia and the Titicaca Lake?
I could spend an hour and I could take you a lot of places. One is my expertise, is Lake Titicaca in Peru. Polanski, the gentleman that was at Tiwanaku, really believed that it was 20,000 years ago. They had to rewrite that. It is an amazing place. A lot of things have been moved. What they're finding right now is, I'm really very much inspired by this, is there's something called thermoluminescence. It's a new dating system. Most of the researchers I know do not believe in carbon dating, so if you hear that as a fact, hold your opinion. Thermoluminescence will date something by getting the sand underneath a pillar or a structure, and they're finding dates. They've redated sites in Australia to 20,000 years more. So again, these places were built by the pre-Incas, again, Lemurians if you want. If you read David Childress's book about the sites just in South Pacific, they're being dated far, far earlier. So if you're interested in this subject, I would Google and try to find some alternative sciences, because there's some amazing work being done right now. Don't go to the history books.
She mentions David Hatcher Childress. He's written books on lost continents, and he's traveled all over the world, and he's a good friend of mine. The two places he's never traveled to, he might have been here, but he's never done any of his adventures where he goes into anthropological and archaeological subjects, never touched Romania or Bulgaria. And of course, I tell him, I hope to bring him to these countries someday. But it's interesting that he has ignored what is such a rich history, and he's a very knowledgeable man. But you don't find it. I've even seen History Channel renditions of the wars with the Roman invasion of this country, and it is so poorly told. It is just as if they're a bunch of snot-nosed kids telling the story of the history of what happened. It's all told from the Roman point of view, from some very anal retentive school teacher. And that's kind of the mentality of they're telling the history of your country. And because I only know it from having been here and shared information, that it's highly offensive. It's offensive to me because it's just so wrong, and it passes as if pedestrian truth. It's rather astounding.
I'm going to divert a minute because I really want to share something with you, because this is your country. I did not even have any desire to come to Romania. And I wasn't going to the Romania because I facilitate Jeanette. 1 week before that journey, Spirit had a dream, you have to go. So I follow that, and I'm glad I did. And there's so much here. So I want to share this story because I get chills. When Peter talked about a cosmic pulse, and this being a 10-year pulse, which is even stronger, because I believe in this energy, this light energy coming from space, coming from within, coming from the earth, helping us to awaken, because I believe this so much. I was with a woman who I call my cosmic sister in Egypt recently, and she channels the Arcturians and the Pleiadians and a lot of people. And I said, ask them, Ask them, how are we going to have world peace? How are we going to have this happen, right? Because unless it comes from within, globally, we're still going to be in a place of earth where there's a lot of agendas. So anyway, here's her exact words. She said, there will come a time in a special place where there will be a pulse of that something's going to happen, and we're going to wake up and realize our oneness with the earth and with each other. And we're going to get out of the mind and into the heart and start rebuilding the world anew. Just wanted to share that.
I have a question, Serene.
Okay.
I have a question for you. You do a very good job here, and it's very organizational, administrative, but you started this thing by being interested in science fiction as a young man. I know you have your personal interests in some of these subjects, which you don't, I mean, you're not here to speak about things, you're here to coordinate things. I would like to hear what you have to say on the subject of sacred Romania. I would personally be very interested what you would have to say.
So it's difficult. Just I want to say what I know, what I'm reading, or what I'm listening and I hear about.
Your informed opinion.
So I also read a lot of things about the Saints and all area, and reading about the historical stuff, including Capildavas here and entire region here, because not only Capildava, it's about Axiopolis, which is not far, it's in Cernavoda, and another important place is Hârșova, with his historical sites. So we are surrounded by history here, and during the program in 19th, we had the chance in each edition, in every summer, to invite people from historical site, which was working here in a camp in Capildava, and we speak with them and found more interesting information from them than we read from the books. I don't want to say too much, things about the Romanian sites, Romanian sacred sites. I'm not so familiar with, so I don't want to give maybe wrong information or something, but I know our people here which are not only familiar, they know more about these special places in Romania, and I like to invite Teodor Vasile and also Aurel Cărășel, which is here, and I know also Video can share with you more information about these topics, what you ask me. About my relation to science fiction, yes, it's true. I growing up with science fiction, I try to write science fiction, but I was stopped in time by my teacher, Aurel Cărășel. He told me that it's not for you to write science fiction. I believe all people who read, who like science fiction, has an open mind. They can think different. They optimists. They believe in the future, and they can choose from the future because they know to dream. They know how to dream, and they can choose their lives because they can dream. When you are closer with science fiction, you're close with your future. So that was my answer. I hope that
Very good.
I give you some this. Teo, te invit aici. Aurel Cărășel. I like to continue with what I told you, relation with spirituality, sacred place. And I know Teo just back from another special place of Romania, which is in the middle of Transylvania. It's about Baciu Forest. Pădurea Baciu, noi știm cu toții ce despre acest loc. Deci Aurel Cărășel și Teodor Vasile, Aurel, ai și tu, Ovidiu? Și continuăm discuția pe aceeași linie legată de spiritualitate și mai mult, am să vă provoc chiar pe voi să dezvoltați ideea cu site-urile sacre ale României, cu zonele sacre, cu zone speciale, să le spunem altfel. we will speak maybe more in Romanian and then it translates for you. It's okay? Okay, Maria, come with us. Join us as a translator. Așa, și nu, scaun, vino aici lângă noi. Nu, vino în spate aici lângă ei doi.
În ceea ce privește locurile, să le spunem, magice din România, pentru că aici aș vrea să ajung. Sunt onorat că pot vorbi despre așa ceva. Am avut bucuria și m-am bucurat de încrederea unor oameni și timp de 12 ani am călătorit alături de colegii mei și încă se întâmplă acest lucru. În fiecare an, în cel puțin 2 sau 3 locuri, să le spunem, magice. De ce vreau să vorbesc acum, după atâția ani, de aceste locuri și de fapt o să mă interesez să spun mai mult despre unul dintre ele? E pentru că îl consider un pericol. S-a discutat foarte mult, se vorbește foarte mult despre pădurea Baciului, despre fenomenele ce se regăsesc acolo, despre anumite experimente, anumite fotografii și anumite, să spunem, dovezi a ceea ce se întâmplă și ce nu pare a fi prea firesc. Porți, lucruri ce se văd și apoi dispar într-o dată, persoane ce au dispărut, legende, povești, dar cu un anumit sâmbur de realitate. Ce vreau să vă spun e că, din punct de vedere al omului de rând, am devenit tot mai trist de fiecare dată când ajung acolo. În fiecare an, în ultimii ani, așa cum am spus, călătoresc și merg în acea pădure și rămân peste noapte la o anumită dată. Nu o să discut despre ceea ce fac acolo în acea noapte, ce sunt ceilalți colegi, o să discut numai despre faptul că de fiecare dată găsesc această pădure mai mică și mai mică. Poienița e din ce în ce mai mare, iar terenul a devenit, din pădure s-a transformat în pășune. Eu cred că este un pericol real și este păcat pentru că se pierde un astfel de loc. Și sincer să fiu, dacă ar merge cineva, am avut bucuria să constat că sunt și elemente, să le spun, științifice ce se regăsesc și sunt diferite de ceea ce avem noi ca și stare naturală, de exemplu radiația, radioactivitatea crește într-o anumită zonă, crește în anumite ore. S-ar putea permite un studiu științific, să-i spunem, și care ar putea dovedi că acolo este ceva mai deosebit. Animalele, insectele, au anumite caracteristici care pot apărea, zic eu, în urma unei iradieri. Încă o dată, nu vreau să vorbesc direct despre ceea ce s-ar putea să fie în acea pădure. Poate că las, pentru că sunt și las la aprecierea ați interlocutori, să vedem între ceea ce ar fi știut, văzut și ceea ce se crede despre aceste locuri. Iar mai aveam o singură precizare după aceea despre Sarmia Sețusa, este că acea energie de acolo, de la această cetate, am regăsit-o și la Stonehenge. Cu nimic diferită de acea energie și se pare că sunt, hai să le spunem, anumite puncte energetice pe harta Pământului în care energia are o vibrație asemănătoare. O să dau microfonul. Alte locuri sacre.
Sacru înseamnă ceva...
Le spun, dacă vreți, sacre. Pentru mine sunt sacre. Sunt speciale, sunt și sacre. Numai că ele vin la pachet cu respectul față de ele. Pentru că dacă se va face doar turism în locurile respective, s-ar putea să facă mai mult rău. Așa cum a fost cu pădurea Baciului. Mi-este greu să vorbesc despre ea pentru că nu știu de fapt ce va fi mai bun. Să se afle cât mai mult despre aceste locuri și o să vină cât mai mulți oameni curioși, ceea ce înseamnă la un moment dat că s-ar putea să fie ceva acolo, sau din potrivă să fie lăsat în paragină și cineva să să meargă și să taie această pădure. Din punctul meu de vedere, toată țara aceasta este magică, dar retezat, ar merita cel puțin o dată în viață să mergeți acolo. Ceahlău, în Bucegi, și în Bucegi aveți două variante în funcție de cât de pregătiți fizic sunteți. Ori pe Valea Cerbului să urcați la Omul și să intrați prin vechea poartă de inițiere Dacă, ori pe Valea Ialomicioarei. Da, de ce nu? Sunt. Aș vrea să spun de mai multe. Multe dintre ele, în schimb, au căpătat și au un caracter mai mult turistic. Din nefericire s-au transformat. Eu cred că un loc este pur și își păstrează acea puritate cât timp este respectat.
This is in English. In relationship to your question regarding the word sacred, many places that are on the grid points, the vortices, have been passed down by the ancient ones who lived there as a place where the gods spoke or a place where healing was taking place. So the name has been borrowed in terms of these sacred places as to the function of them.
Să dăm mai departe.
Păi, aș completa și eu foarte puțin cele pe care lucrurile trecute în revistă de domnul Teodor Vasile. Și aș începe cu o declarație a Papei Ioan Paul al II-lea despre România, în anul în care a vizitat România. Probabil că mulți dintre dumneavoastră o cunoașteți. O foarte scurtă propoziție în care a afirmat că România este grădina Maicii Domnului. Atunci când a făcut-o, n-am știut foarte multe lucruri care au stat la baza acestei declarații și am trecut peste ea aproximativ ca un cititor care citește o metaforă și este încântat de ideea că este asociată cu România. Apoi, peste ani de zile, nu foarte mulți, dar peste câțiva ani, am citit o carte despre ghicitoarea, prezicătoarea Vanda, care este o faimoasă prezicătoare din Bulgaria. A murit de mai mulți cărți și în românește. Au fost traduse și au fost și scrise cărți în limba română. Vanda, care a fost o femeie oarbă și a trăit cea mai mare parte a vieții cu ajutorul celor din jur, pentru că nu se putea descurca altfel. Avea niște viziuni atât de interesante despre viitor, să spunem între ghilimele cuvântul interesant, încât a fost căutată de foarte mulți șefi de state, printre care și Ceaușescu, pentru a li se prezice viitorul. A fost foarte bine protejată de securitatea bulgară și a trăit aproape 84 de ani. Printre prezicerile pe care le-a făcut, rămase după moartea ei înregistrate, se găsește una referitoare la țara noastră și ea face exact aceeași afirmație, dar cu mulți ani înainte de Papa Ioan Paul al II-lea, cum că România este grădina Maicii Domnului, exact cu aceleași cuvinte, și cum că aici vor avea loc într-un viitor previzibil, nu spune o perioadă de timp, dar ea spune previzibil, întâmplări capitale cu privire la istoria lumii. Acum, nu putem să facem din ceea ce a spus Vanda o literă de lege, dar este interesant că oameni de foarte mare importanță politică, în primul rând, au avut încredere în spusele ei și au fost să o viziteze pentru a-și afla destinele. Și dacă vreți să aflați mai multe pe linia asta, vă invit să citiți, sunt două cărți în limba română despre ea. Este într-adevăr aici o grădină, pentru că, așa cum au remarcat majoritatea absolută a celor care ne-au vizitat țara, nu a fost atinsă de acest val distrugător al unificării europene. Încă. Există locuri aici, într-adevăr, senzaționale și mă atașez la prezentarea pe care a făcut-o domnul Teodor Vasile. La Salmize Cetuza am simțit și eu exact același fenomen ca la Stonehenge. O chestiune pe care am resimțit-o aici pe insulă, pentru că, în mod interesant, nu-i fac nicio subliniere pentru că ne aflăm aici. Există o energie în această insulă, am mai discutat despre ea în trecutele întâlniri, care ne afectează într-un mod chiar distinct. Iar ceea ce am simțit la Stonehenge și ceea ce am simțit la Salmize Cetuza am întâlnit pentru prima oară pe insula aici în 1999, când am fost la eclipsă, și când, vreme de o oră și jumătate, senzația că suntem sub un ochi care ne privește de sus a fost chiar palpabilă. Deci, undeva ne uitam, eram 200 de inși pe insulă și pe bacuri și ne uitam așa cam în toate părțile și mă arăt pe Dunăre, așteptând să iasă ceva de acolo din Dunăre, aceea foarte metalică, foarte cenușie și foarte stranie în momentul acela. Avem chiar neașteptate ciudățenii în această țară. Vă mai povestesc unul singur și cedez microfonul, nu vreau să o plictisesc. În Oltenia, de unde vin eu, în acea câmpie foarte apropiată de Dunăre, eu stau într-o comună la 17 km de Dunăre. În 1964 au venit, eu nu eram atunci acolo, a venit o echipă de cercetare trimisă, evident, pe linie politică de Partidul Comunist și de Guvern, pentru a face cercetări subterane în zonă. Nu știm exact ce anume cercetări a făcut, dar fiind cazați la fostul meu director de școală acasă, dumnealui mai împărtășit niște opinii ale acestora după ce ei, la terminarea campaniei de vreo 2 luni cât au stat acolo, și-au permis să se îmbete într-o seară și au lăsat să le mai scape niște lucruri. Au spus că există în acel sol o energie pe care au venit să o exploreze și nu ne-au făcut precizări cu privire la acea energie, dar au spus că au găsit la peste 200 de metri adâncime, a spus așa, nici nu știți pe ce stați aici. O mare de apă clocotită, sărată, capabil, a zis, să vă încălzească iarna absolut toate locuințele pe un diametru de vreo 40 de kilometri, fără nicio sforțare tehnică din partea noastră. Vreo 30 de kilometri mai departe de mine, câțiva ani mai târziu, o altă echipă a făcut forări la marginea unei păduri și au găsit ceva atât de ciudat acolo, încât au betonat intrările și au protejat cu un grilaj, l-am văzut și eu cam așa de mare, zona, și acolo nu poate să intre nimeni în acest moment. Sunt locuri care au fost explorate științific, sunt niște răspunsuri care s-au dat, dar încă n-am aflat nimic despre ce energie era vorba când au venit acolo. Putea să fie vorba despre absolut orice, începând de la energia nucleară și terminând cu energiile para. V-am spus, la 17 km de Dunăre, comuna se numește Amărăștii de Jos. De ce nu mă lasă să termin? Amărăștii de Jos. Și comuna Apere Vii. Deci cele 2 puncte. Mulțumesc!
Ovidiu.
Nu e cazul, cred, să adaug încă un loc sau mai multe. Ascultându-vă, îmi puneam întrebarea, sincer, ce urmează să spun. Făceam legătura în timp ce povesteați, între ceea ce simțim într-un anume loc și nu în altul. Între piramidele egiptene, fizica cuantică și, dacă vreți, omul cavernelor. Cum se leagă lucrurile astea? În mintea mea se legau cam așa. Primii oameni, în interacțiune cu un mediu ostil, necunoscut, continuu încordați, continuu atenți și investigând acel mediu. Simțurile se ascund. În anumite locuri percep neobișnuitul. Și atunci izolează locul respectiv, îl consideră blestemat, apar credințe de tot felul. Ajungem la egipteni, poate cam repede. Cine le-a dat ideea să modifice spațiul prin intermediul piramidelor? Cum piramidele acelea modifică timpul unor obiecte dacă acele obiecte sunt așezate între treimea de jos și treimea de sus, la limita dintre aceste două treimi. Efectul de piramidă s-a auzit. În continuare, inexplicabil. Ciudat este că niște oameni cu cultură tehnică practic egală cu zero, mă refer la înaintașii noștri, poate de dinainte de egipteni, cu mult înainte de egipteni, au fost puși în fața unor probleme pe care noi înșine, încercând să le dezlegăm, le găsim legături în știință. Dar știința avansând și având rigorile ei, apare brusc o ruptură. De ce să credem în efectul de piramidă? E o prostie. De ce să credem în efectul benefic al unui loc sau altuia? Sunt superstiții. Și așa mai departe. La astea mă gândeam în timp ce colegii mei descriau locurile acelea. Nu, legătura există. De la intuiția omului primitiv până la aparatura actuală și intuiția omului cu experiența științifică acumulată până în secolul 21, așa la început cum suntem noi, lucrurile astea, această joncțiune trebuie să ne pună pe gânduri. Ceva ne scapă și extrema oamenilor care nu sunt pregătiți științific atât de adânc, precum ar fi niște cercetători din domeniul cuanticii, ar trebui privită de cercetătorii din cuantică. Am dat doar două extreme. E vorba de un traseu presărat de sociologi, lingviști, știu și eu, antropologi, medici, psihologi, până la cuantică. Avem într-o parte explicația, într-o parte mirarea. Apoi, explicația primitivă, explicația